Deus, Caritas est, or God is Love, was written by Pope Benedict XVI in 2005. In this encyclical, we learn that through Jesus' example, we can know how to love, what true love really is despite society, and how to share it and live it according to God's will. In order to love, one must know God. John 1, chapter 4, verse 16 states, "We have come to know and have believed the love which God has for us. God is love, and the one who abides in love abides in God, and God abides in him." This means that those that don't acknowledge God don't know the true love. We humans are called to love God, not as a command, but simply as a response to the love that God showed us first. The more we know God, the more we can love him. Society today tends to minimize the amount of recognition God gets and increase the temptation of sin, making it harder for all the people to know and love God. So what is true love? We hear the word love a lot. It's a very common term nowadays. I love this sweater, I love KU basketball, I love dark chocolate, etc. The overuse of the word tends to undermine its meaning. Benedict explains that the truest love is agape, or sacrificial love. Jesus showed us this love by dying for our sins on the cross. He didn't need the word love because he showed us with his actions. Agape is a true and pure love that wills the good of the beloved. It is not selfish in any way. Unlike how society views love, it is more lust than love. It's about a personal pleasure than loving your neighbors. For this reason, we need to sacrifice more. Sacrifice is the epitome of love. Sex has become nearly a thing, nothing special or sacred about it, simply an act that views the person as an object, dehumanizing them for the sake of a personal gain. Sex is a gift that should be given selflessly for the use of procreation and unity after marriage. And this love between a man and a woman is only a glimpse of God's promise of happiness he has for us in store. When Jesus died for us on that cross, he was loving us, but he was also loving God by doing his will. To follow in his footsteps, we must practice self-surrender. Examples of amazing people that did just this would be Mother Teresa and our own Father Capon. In Matthew chapter 25, verse 40, Jesus said, "Truly, I tell you, whatever you did for the one of the least of my brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." By loving our neighbors, we can love God. Just as Jesus died on the cross for us, so must we die to ourselves for others. All we have to do now is live out this. As Christians, we are called to share the love of God with every person we meet. However, one cannot give what they do not have. One must have the love of Christ in order to share it. Better yourselves so that you can better others. Despair in life is a given. We don't live in a perfect world. The test we are put up against every day is whether or not to trust God. Many doubt his presence, his plan, and yet we know he knows best. When we worry about things, it only questions God's ability. I easily fall into this, whether it be tests, track, friends, or family issues. It is difficult, but in order to love him more fully, we must let him have us wholly. Ultimately, because God is love, and his example is given to us by his Son, Jesus, we on earth know how to love him and one another, know what true love is even in a sin-filled world, and have an obligation to share the good news and love God according to his will.